Welcome back here to the Dream Nations Cup at the American Dream Mall. Second of two games in Men's Division 2 on day number 2. We have Brazil against the Caribbean. These two teams both won yesterday. Brazil taking down Pakistan 4-2. Caribbean crushing Mexico 7-0. So the winner of this game will be at the top of the Men's Division 2 group heading into the final day of round robin play. My name is Will Wiggleman. Alongside me, Claudio from Team Brazil is joining us once again. Mix a little Portuguese into the broadcast and help the fans back in Brazil with some of the rules and the language as well. So happy to have you back again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and it's going to be a pleasure to be watching this game. It's going to be a great game. We expect a very tough game between these two teams that won yesterday. Both good wins, and let's see how this game is going to develop.
A great test for Team Brazil against, again, a very strong looking Team Caribbean from yesterday. And the stakes, a spot in the driver's seat for the top seed in the Men's Division 2 standings. Again, heading into what will be the final day of round robin play tomorrow. My name is Will Wiggleman, and I'll take you through this one. And before we do get to this one, we will pause here for the national anthems for both sides. Those are the anthems ahead of this morning's game between Team Brazil and Team Caribbean. Brazil bringing out the gold jerseys for this game, looking very sharp over there on the bench down to our left. Caribbean with those same baby blue and gray jerseys that we saw yesterday. A changing goal for Brazil. Ryan Koch will take over between the pipes. Represented Brazil at the most recent Latam Cup and played this season at the University of South Florida, AAU, Division 2 and 3. A different look in net for Team Brazil, Claudio.
Yeah, and yesterday, Rafael Gonçalves did a very great job on the goal. Coach has a lot to do today to keep the same pace, and that's what I was expecting. Same type of pressure we did yesterday, with hopefully another win for Brazil.
And on the other side, a goaltending change as well. Lee Jo-Kwon Conlu got the shutout against Mexico for Team Caribbean, but today it will be DeMar McCoy, a Philadelphia, Pennsylvania native, and the 21-year-old who played this season with the Atlanta Mad Hatters in the USPHL Premier and represented Caribbean at the most recent Latam Cup. He will be between the pipes, or at least he was. He was setting up in the blue paint, but now Conlu is heading over there. So my mistake, it will be Conlu back between the pipes again. He made 10 saves in the shutout win over Team Mexico yesterday. Top spot in Men's Division 2 on the line as Brazil and Caribbean get set to drop the puck on day 2 at the Dream Nations. First one on this dump in is Lance Spencer, number 43. Now Brazil looking to work out. Pushed out of the zone, a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Here comes Robertson on the right wing side. Robertson tried to send it back across where Matthew Melnick was heading towards the net. Melnick had 2 goals yesterday for Brazil. The only player in Men's Division 2 with a multi-goal game yesterday. This one dumped in by Socrates, in and out. Conlu's glove, and then Socrates tried for another chance. Hit the outside of the cage. Tossed out by DeBow. He'll get a change as Brazil hustles after it. Spencer towards the net. That was blocked. Now a centering feed out in front. Hit a skate taken away by Lucas Robertson. Played off the near side boards. Bounced up by Suezo. Goes all the way down, and that will be an icing against Caribbean. Our first chance to explain a rule in English and Portuguese. So icing is when one team sends the puck all the way down to the other end from their own side of the red line, and that results in a face-off all the way back in that team's zone.
Em português, só uma explicação bem rápida. O icing é aquele tradicional chuta para o mato que joga de campeonato, joga para o outro lado da linha. Então, quando ultrapassa a linha do meio de campo e a linha de gol lá atrás, o time que recebeu, que chutou, termina recebendo o face-off do seu lado.
Here's a chance for Team Caribbean with a 3-on-1, but unable to move that puck across was Onyx King as he had some help, and the puck covered up by Koch. And of course, I don't know much Portuguese, so I'm going to hope that you're not saying anything mean about me in Portuguese.
I am not, no. You are very good, don't worry.
Caribbean working back in their own end. Tossed up towards the Brazil blue line, but off of King's skate. Then back the other way by Tyler McGolgan. Risby trying to work in for Caribbean. He gets a shot off, and it's blockered away. Risby on the rebound. That one blocked. He's still on it. Comes back to the point. Nunez keeps it alive. Rosario, clap pass across. That hit a Brazilian skate. And out comes Team Brazil. Working in a 1-on-3. And taken away was Tournman. Pass off for Nunez. Morgan on the backhand, forced off to the corner. There's the rim it up top to Rosario at the point. Couldn't get it back deep. Teo Marchetti looks to work it out. Now Robertson working in. Robertson shot gloved and held by Conlu.
Bom ataque do time brasileiro pelo lado esquerdo. Robertson tentou o drible e chutar, mas o goleiro estava atento e usou o glove para pegar o puck. E o face-off do lado direito do goleiro caribenho.
Brazil with another offensive zone draw here between Robertson and Dwight Singleton for the Caribbean. Singleton a goal and an assist yesterday in the win over Mexico. Turn towards the net. Conlu able to stick it aside. Singleton up the boards. Kept alive at the line by Ronnie Kelhow. Morris looks to turn it up ice. That was partially blocked by the Brazilians on the forecheck, but it's Singleton. He will play it off the backboards for his teammate. Sent out in front and sticked out of play by Koch.
Nice play for the Caribbean team, and not sure exactly who deflected the puck, but deflected out of the rink. So that was a great attitude from the defense, or I guess. So nice play, but scoreless so far, 0-0.
Good active stick from the goaltender, Koch, to make sure that pass didn't get out in front. And it's always good when the puck is in tight around the crease area, when your goaltender feels confident enough to deflect passes away, as that shot is gloved and held by Conlu. And goaltender's not just there to stop the puck, also to keep it from getting out in front around his crease. Anything he can do, put an extra stick in the way, is certainly helpful. And again, we saw that from Koch just moments ago. Well, this face-off's tied up at the dot, poked at by Morgan. Now working down low and around is McGolgan. Pardon me, that's Lucas Miranda, number 99. Pulled off the boards, a shot gloved and held again by Conlu. Bidding for that one was Melnick.
Yeah, a great shot by Melnick again. It's some space showed up for him, and he tried the shot, but the goalie did a great save.
Out of Towson University, where he played ACHA hockey for a couple of years, Westfield, New Jersey native. Again, a couple of goals yesterday in the win over Pakistan. There's Melnick again. Looking back towards the net, tried to stuff it. Conlu comes up with another save. Good pressure from Brazil early on in this one.
Again, Melnick, he wants to increase his numbers on the tournament. So far, 2 goals, he wants more.
That line sticking out there for Brazil for another offensive zone draw. McColgan right off the draw, going to the net, and couldn't get a shot all the way through. Suezo tries to work back up the near side wall. Ends up behind the net, and it's rimmed up to King. King taking a look off ice, rink-wide feed, too far ahead of LJ Spencer. He was given a game misconduct, LJ Spencer, yesterday against Mexico for grabbing a player's face mask. And he served his time, and he is back here in this game. Centering pass by Melnick didn't get all the way to the front of the net. That game between Mexico and the Caribbean did get testy throughout, plenty of scrums. Again, Spencer had to head to the locker room early. Now he heads to the bench as Caribbean makes a change. Brazil as well. Has not yet played 5 minutes in period 1. Shots 5-2 in favor of the Brazilians. Off this face-off, it's kicked to the boards. Popped up in the air. Loose puck. And it's Lance Spencer able to head it along. Here comes DeBow, but he overskated it as it was rolling on him. Couldn't pick it up clean. That puck was on edge and rolling, and that is a tough play to make. Brazil looking for a counter. Tornman as Robertson going towards the net. And Tornman taken out with a good hit by Spencer. That may be penalized here. And Brazil getting the first power play of the game. We'll see exactly what the call is.
Looks like it was a tripping call.
They may have called a trip. Indeed, that is the case. You get your stick in the opposing player's feet and trip him up. That is a 2-minute penalty. And that means Brazil will skate with 5 players against 4 for the Caribbean for the next 2 minutes. That is a power play.
Temos o primeiro power play do jogo para o time do Brasil. Significa que o time do Caribe fez uma falta. E o que acontece é que eles vão ficar com um jogador a menos pelos próximos 2 minutos.
Brazil setting up the man advantage here. On the far side, it's Mancini to the net. Save Conley, the rebound. He got that one as well. Moved around to the near side. Melnick after it. Brazil takes back possession. It's up at the point. Socrates across one-timer, and Conley able to stick it away. Mancini let it go. Socrates just couldn't hold the line. So Brazil has to regroup. Ends up on Caribbean stick, and it's sent all the way down by Brandon Rosario. Socrates Kelly up to Melnick, makes a nice move. Melnick works in on the right side, looks towards the net, save the rebound, and that one wouldn't go. Conley kicked out that right pad as it dribbled back towards him off the Brazilian player that was right in front. 57 seconds left on the power play for Brazil. Melnick able to dig it out of the scrum. Looking in front, tried to send it there. Now he gets it towards the crease. Got through a couple of players, and Morgan able to clear for the Caribbean.
Pressão no time brasileiro, quase agora saiu um gol no lance do Melnick. 2 vezes, mas o jogador não conseguiu concluir o gol.
Brazil back in on the attack. Final 28 seconds ticking off their power play. Played on the near side boards. King challenging for the Caribbean. Sent up to the point. They still work at it. And now we get the whistle here.
Ainda faltam 6 segundos para o fim do pênalti do time do Caribe. E aqui o que a gente teve foi um offside, ou seja, o que a gente chama de impedimento. A linha azul, o time não pode cruzar enquanto o puck não tiver cruzado.
We get back underway. There's a few seconds left on this Brazil power play. It has just expired. The Caribbean successful on their first penalty kill. Caribbean looking for the attack. Couldn't find Spencer though, who was fresh out of the penalty box. And icing called again against Team Caribbean. Shot 7-2 in favor of Brazil. Just about 8 minutes left to go in the opening frame.
Great pressure from the Brazil team so far in this beginning of this game. Caribbean is having a lot of difficulty to get out of their defensive zone.
Then a very important game in the group play stage, where both of these two teams come in 1-0. Here's Caribbean with numbers 3-on-2. DeBow takes the shot, hit the back glass. Singleton swung and missed at the bouncing puck. Lance Spencer behind the net, tried to swing it out in front. Suezo keeps it in at the line, but he gave it away. A penalty coming up against Brazil. Although it's Lance Spencer for Caribbean having a chat with the referee. Brazil will go short-handed here, so they will have to kill off a penalty as Lucas Razor heads to the box, and hooking is the call. So when you get your stick up in the midsection of a player, try and pull him back, kind of like a hook, thus the name of the penalty. That is also 2 minutes you have to sit in the penalty box, so Caribbean now will skate 5 skaters against 4.
Agora o Brasil que fez o pênalti do hooking, que é quando você usa o seu stick, o taco, para puxar o outro jogador, fisgar o jogador, como se fosse uma isca, um gancho mesmo. Né?
Here's Tornman trying to work short-handed, had it taken away by Rosario. Rosario, long-range shot, didn't get anywhere near the cage and hit the back glass. LJ Spencer had it taken away, and Brazil able to send it all the way down. And for those wondering why this isn't icing, icing rules are not in effect for a team that is down a man or short-handed during a penalty, so you can throw the puck all the way down when you're killing a penalty. Rosario at the point. Walks the line, takes a look through, and he scores! A seeing eye shot from Brandon Rosario. His second of the tournament. Power play goal gets Caribbean on the board first.
Yeah, Caribbean capitalized their power play. You get a great shot. The goalie was being screened by two players. He couldn't see the goal with the puck, and until he was inside the goal.
So all kinds of pressure from Brazil to start this game. The Caribbean gets one chance on the power play. They make good on it.
E para quem não, as regras em português estou falando para ajudar os brasileiros que estão acompanhando pela primeira vez, ou quem não conhece muito bem as regras. Agora que teve um gol de power play do time do Caribe, a falta que o Brasil tinha feito se anula e o jogador pode sair e voltar, e o Brasil volta a ter 5 jogadores no gelo.
Brazil looking for a response. They'll have to get it out of their own zone first. Comes all the way around for Miranda. They dig away on the half wall, chip past Slade. Here comes Brazil with some numbers, trying to get towards the middle of the ice, taken away by Morris. Now a steal, McColgan dropped it off. Couldn't get towards the net though. McColgan right back on it. Colgan tried to bounce it up high, kept in the zone, shot on goal, punched away by Conlou. Follow-up chance was fanned on. And now Morris trying to go the other way, but he stumbled. McColgan finally able to regain possession for Brazil. That's stolen. Pushed over to the far side. Slade sends it down and around. Ashton Kramer after it. Tried to put it out in front. That one cleared away. Slade keeps it deep. Kramer up high. Morris takes a look towards the net, and that shot blocked. Morris back on it. Caribbean getting some life from that goal, but Morris gave it away just for a moment. This one sent off the boards and down ice. Brazil able to get an important change here. Nunez at the red line. Forced back, he gave it away. Here comes Socrates, and a blocker save by Conlou. Sent back towards the net. Comes all the way around. One of the Caribbean players fell into the boards rather awkwardly as Conlou able to make the save here on the long-range try. Seems to be all right, though. That was Nunez over on the far side. 5:07 left to go here in period one. And Brazil getting back on the attack, trying to tie this game. Brazil bench having a chat with one of the referees. Finally get back underway. Caribbean trying to move up ice with it. Spencer taken down, and another penalty coming up against Brazil. As Lance Spencer was taken down, pressure off the bench, a shot from Risby goes high and wide. And as Tornman touches up, we will get the penalty call. Looks like another hook, but the reason that the penalty was not called immediately, there was what's called a delayed penalty, which means that since Team Caribbean had the possession, they don't blow the whistle until Brazil touches the puck, much like an advantage in soccer for a penalty, or football, pardon me.
Exatamente. Para quem não acompanhou, tem pênalti do Brasil novamente, e o pênalti não foi assinalado imediatamente, porque o Caribe tinha a posse do puck. Então o Brasil, enquanto o Brasil não tocasse, não tivesse domínio do puck novamente, o Caribe podia jogar. Inclusive eles fazem uma estratégia que é tirar o goleiro, entrar um jogador imediatamente no momento, para tentar fazer mais pressão naquela hora.
Caribbean on the second power play, trying to strike again. Lance Spencer couldn't get that puck to settle down for him. Back out in front, that shot didn't get all the way through. Player for Caribbean right in the crease. This one poked out of the zone. Brazil trying to get something going shorthanded. Caribbean able to recover, and Rosario starts back behind his net. 30 seconds gone on the penalty. DeBow works in. Rims it down and around all the way to Singleton, waiting on the far half wall. He kicks it down deep before taking a hard hit. DeBow works it up top. Rosario, the goal scorer, down low, looking for Singleton at the side of the cage. He got him, but Singleton just put it wide from the back door.
Nice play for the Caribbean, and was a one-timer on the right side of the goalie, on left side of the goalie, but the shot was a little bit wide, as I mentioned.
This one an icing against the Caribbean team. Some good vision from Rosario at the point to find Singleton right down next to the net. Unfortunately for Singleton, just couldn't get a good touch on it. Looking for Caribbean's second power play goal.
And today for the Brazil game, it's been pretty much the opposite of yesterday's game. We have Brazil with more shots, but Caribbean with less shots being more effective.
51 seconds left on this power play for Team Caribbean. That shot was going high over top of the net, but Conlou decided to glove it down and hang on.
Caribbean goalie doesn't want to take any risk. Took the shot, got it, and a face-off now for the Brazilian team.
Off this draw, taken by Brazil. Melnick couldn't get a turnaround shot off as he was surrounded. Up comes Caribbean with speed. That shot bounces off the backboards. King goes on the brakes, trying to spin away from pressure. King fired it and missed short side, and that caroms all the way back down. That's as good as a Brazil clear. Rosario goes all the way back behind his net, waits for help, and he hands it off. LJ Spencer gave it right back. Nice move. Unable to get a shot away. There was Team Caribbean. That was Nichols who came flying in. Brazil, one last clear here. Just as the penalty expires, Conlou all the way out to play it. Reverse up the boards right into McColgan. Now Brazil with a chance. McColgan had it taken away by a couple of Caribbean players.
Yeah, the Brazil shot wide on the net. The goalie went out. But could not take advantage there when the Brazil team recovered the puck.
Morris put it back on net. That was blocked on the way through. Brazil trying to clear, can't do it. Morgan a shot. That one fought off by Koch. And Kramer got a chance at the rebound, but couldn't get it to go. Off the glass, out of the zone. Morris hustling after it, along with Bencini. Those two cancel out. Caribbean ends up with the puck. Left wing side, Tolle looks in front, and a save by Koch on Morgan. Tolle back on it, and Morgan swung and missed at a one-timer as he was tied up. Tolle once again puts it back out in front. They score! Stephen Morgan finally able to bang it home on his third opportunity in that short time. Caribbean with a 2-0 lead.
Defense is having a tough time today. The Caribbean team moves very quickly and is very physical there. So the defense are trying to do their best, but now the Caribbean could take the turn around the net and find the open player that just could shot to the goal.
Morgan did a good job sticking in that spot right at the top of the crease. That's a scoring area, and he is rewarded with his first point of this tournament. will continue. Caribbean up 2-0 as Brazil works it in. Caribbean trying to go right back out. It's given away. Robertson drops it off. Outside Champs comes all the way through to the near side. Rink wide feed looking for DeBow. Too far in front. Catches up to it. DeBow to the net. He scores! Another quick one for the Caribbean as Charles DeBow puts it home. His second of this tournament.
And Caribbean is exploring a lot the speed. There was a great diagonal pass for a player that was running very wide, very alone, and just had the time to choose where to shoot.
So DeBow able to get behind the defense. And it's all Caribbean here now in this first period. Shots were 7-2 at one point, now they're 9-all. And Caribbean able to score on 3 of their 9. Risby, a try from a sharp angle, that didn't work. Rizzer up the boards, chipped out of the zone. Now Rosario goes back across to Risby. Led on to the blue line, Nichols tries to jump past his man. Brazil got it out. Rosario tried to go right back in, hit a man on the Brazil bench. Puck out of play with 40.7 seconds up on the clock here at the rink at American Dream.
E agora o puck saiu de jogo, o jogador do Caribe chutou e bateu no jogador que estava no banco. Então, quando sai assim, bate alguém no banco, o puck para e é face-off ali na zona de entrada da neutral zone.
Brazil looking to work up, trying to get one late here. But they are offside, so they couldn't touch that puck in the offensive zone. Socrates hustling after it. Goes down behind the net. A couple players come together in the corner with 22. Socrates off the boards. Got to Rosario at the line. He put it right back in. Rizzer up the wall. Brought in by Risby. Trying to make a pass up. That's picked off. 5 seconds left. Socrates hustling up. Gets a long range try. Conlou able to fight it off. And we get the horn. And after 15 minutes of play, the Caribbean with a 3-0 lead on Team Brazil. Brazil with the shots advantage, 10-9. And they'll try and get one past Conlou when we come back for period number 2. We will be right back on the Dream Nations Cup, the American Dream Ball. back here at the American Dream Mall, getting set for period number 2. Caribbean gets goals from Brandon Rosario, Stephen Morgan, and Charles DeBow. Take a 3-0 lead on Team Brazil in their second game of group play in Men's Division 2 of Dream Nations Cup.
Yeah, not the start the Brazil team was dreaming of, but I'm pretty sure these are not the final numbers and we still have time to recover.
Still lots of time left to go in this game. As we get the face-off, we're underway in period 2. And it's Miranda curling back, getting it to the point. Miranda gets it right back, and he moves it down deep. Rosario takes over for Caribbean. Up toward Andy Culpepper, who got it out. Melnick couldn't turn back in. Frisbee just able to dump it deep. Culpepper after it, but he may have been offsides at the line. Cannot precede the puck if you're an offensive attacking player. You can't go into the offensive zone before the puck does. If you do, your entire team has to leave the offensive zone before you can go back in.
A regra do offside é equivalente à regra do impedimento, exceto que no futebol o impedimento você conta pelo último jogador do time, enquanto aqui você tem a linha azul, é mais fácil até de marcar.
Off this dump in, it's flagged down by Cavalcanti. Kept in by the Caribbeans. DeBow looking across, sent that one towards the net. Slade able to pick up the carom on the other side. Spencer back on goal. Comes over towards DeBow on the near side. In front looking for Singleton. Pass was on his backhand, had to turn for it, and couldn't bring it in. Morris back behind his own cage. Forced out by Melnick. Morris got it up towards DeBow, but past him. And that is an icing against Team Caribbean and a chance for Brazil to get an offensive zone face-off.
Brazil had a good start on the second period, trying to make some pressure and leave the puck a bit on the offensive zone, but Caribbean also recovered and now was doing also some pressure here on the Brazil's defense. Let's see how it goes moving forward.
Of course, keeping track at home, Conlu has now played 4 periods plus in this tournament and has yet to allow a goal for Team Caribbean. Lance Spencer on it. Try to put it out in front. Where is it?
It was on the right side of the skate of the goalie. So it was between the skate and the post.
Spencer trying to bank it in. Goalies have to stay alert even when the puck is below the goal line. Players these days are so talented they can score from just about anywhere.
Nice move, the goalie staying put because any move there could put the puck inside the goal.
Brazil trying to step out. And now Socrates reverse back in his own end. Off the boards all the way up. Robertson with a chance, try to drop it back off for Tornman. They got their signals crossed, wasn't a clean exchange. Now Torman pulls it off the wall. Torman to the net. Save Conlu. Torman back out in front. Comes back to him in the corner. Trying to force his way through. Kramer couldn't do it. Loose puck picked up by Robertson. Looking back towards Torman. That didn't work. Culpepper with a toss pass out of the zone. Morgan able to pick it up. Caribbean offside, so Tale couldn't enter the zone. Now Robertson had some help heading towards the net. Would have had a good opportunity for Brazil if he could get it through, but instead here comes Morgan on his backhand. Save Koch, and he'll cover up.
Yeah, Robertson couldn't see the players passing through the offside zone, but he couldn't pass, and then the Caribbean recovered and tried to score, but the goalie, Ryan, picked it up.
9 saves so far for Ryan Koch. He'll see a face-off off to his right. Right off the draw, Nichols try to get it back on net. And that one popped high up out of play. As LJ Spencer put the first shot on net, he ended up hitting the centerman on the way through, and then Nichols got the opportunity. Nichols won it back, but Brazil able to jump on it. Moved up in Marchetti's direction, chipped it past Rosario. Risby comes over to help out. Now Risby with some skating room. Risby steps in. On the outside, tried to sweep it out in front, couldn't do it. Rosario recollects. All the way down and around. LJ Spencer waiting for it. Back over to the far corner. And now Rosario once more. Winds, fires, he scores! Another long-range goal from Brandon Rosario. Makes it 4-0 for the Caribbean.
Rosário certamente está com a mira em dia. Pegou puck lá da linha azul, mirou e chutou lá no ângulo esquerdo do goleiro Ryan Coach, que nada pôde fazer. Chute maravilhoso, fazendo agora 4-0 para o time do Caribe, faltando 11:31 para o fim do segundo período.
So big goal for Caribbean, and that certainly is a tough blow to the hopes of Brazil for a comeback. Of course, a 4-goal lead is not necessarily safe. We saw a Lebanon women's team come back against Egypt in the third period from down 4-0, and they ended up finishing with a tie. Here comes Caribbean again. That shot swallowed up by Koch, and he'll hang on. Lance Spencer drawing some attention from the Brazilian squad. This is a Caribbean team that plays with a lot of energy, a lot of swagger, and they certainly draw the ire of their opponents. Saw it yesterday a little bit against Mexico. They play very hard, and again, a lot of swagger, very upbeat bench.
O jogador caribenho número 42 veio muito rápido contra-ataque, chutou, o goleiro segurou e ele deu aquela cutucada para ver se tinha um puck sobrando. Isso aí geralmente os jogadores vão lá tirar satisfação com ele. Mas tudo volta ao jogo.
That confident Caribbean group back to work in the offensive zone. It's cleared out of the Brazil end. Morris back on it. Pass off of Kramer's stick. Robertson pass off. A shot was blocked on the way through. May have hit Robertson. Robertson went into the boards hard. Good to see that he's all right. Puck's still underneath. And now they'll blow it dead. And we'll get some more pushing and shoving.
Yeah, the Brazilian player was pushed into the boards. Felt not very well. Then Miranda went there to try to protect him since he was on the ground, on the ice, and some rumbling.
Players still chirping at each other as they're separated by the referees. And Robertson trying to find out why there was no penalty on that play when he went tumbling into the boards. Face-off will be deep in the Caribbean end. They're finishing up a change. Brazil all set to go for the offensive zone face-off. Robertson will take it against Singleton. 10:34 left to go in period 2. 4-0 lead for Caribbean. DeBow trying to push his way out. Had his pocket picked. Robertson the other way with some help. Robertson drops it off. The shot just goes wide. Conlou may have got a piece.
Nice shot from Bezerra in front of the net. Unfortunately, a little bit more strength to be scored.
Becerra trying to hustle back after it. Able to block the first clearing attempt. Caribbean works in, but the pass cut off. Sent back over to the near side, and Socrates on it in his own end. Throws on the brakes, makes a pass off to his left. Robertson works into the offensive zone, cuts the middle, his shot just went wide as he cut to the right and shot back to the left, trying to get the goaltender Conlu moving the other direction.
Yeah, and if it were in the direction of the goal, it would be a score because the goalie was beaten at this point. But unfortunately, it was a little bit wide.
McColgan had it taken off of his stick. Socrates sent it across. Brazil able to work back in. McColgan looking for it. Instead, it's Caribbean who turns it the other direction. Singleton from outside the blue line. Sent it off the end wall. Socrates with his head up ice. All he can do is flip it all the way down. And that is an icing against Team Brazil.
Time brasileiro com muita dificuldade de sair da zona de defesa. E terminou jogando o puck na direção para tentar fazer um lançamento à distância, mas o puck foi demais e terminou cruzando a linha do gol, terminando como icing.
Another important part of that icing rule is that the team that ices the puck is not allowed to change up their players. So not only do you have to face a face-off deep in your end, you still might have a tired group out there. Here's McColgan chipping it past one man. 2-on-1, McColgan didn't have a passing lane. Good job by Risby to get down on a knee to block the lane. Here comes Morgan the other way as Culpepper hustling to join him. Sent it there, and Culpepper couldn't bring the pass in. Morgan behind the net, had his stick lifted. Bencini able to move it out. Melnick on the right wing side. Shot off a stick, lands in the near side corner. McColgan took a hit, still fighting through. Melnick couldn't get that towards the goal. McColgan has a comeback for him. Takes a look towards the net, right into Conlu, and he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off as he gets back on top of that rebound.
Belo chute do jogador, mas o goleiro estava lá preparado. O Brasil reclama aqui de um empurrão, uma falta, mas não, o juiz não marcou. E continua o jogo 4-0 para o time do Caribe.
Now Brazil, another offensive zone face-off. Conlu looking like a very strong goaltender and one of the best here in Men's Division 2. Here's King up with speed and a great back check there by Brazil. King back on it, his shot hit some traffic on the way through. Kept in at the line. Pushed down deep, LJ Spencer and Bencini came together. Robertson on it now. And now Becerra able to poke it out. Tornman keeps it moving. Slade, chased by Tornman, had knocked off his stick right to Conlu, who was alert and able to cover up.
Bela jogada de defesa agora do time brasileiro, feita pelo Léo Cavalcante, que conseguiu bloquear o chute do jogador do caribenho. No contra-ataque, o jogador do Brasil tentou carregar, o Caribe tocou de volta e o goleiro protegeu, segurou. Não existe problema de recuo, então ele pode recuar para o goleiro, que não foi o caso, acho que ele tentou cortar adiante, mas o goleiro teve que fazer a intervenção e evitar o que seria o primeiro gol do Brasil.
And again, it was a great back-checking play by the Brazil defense that kept King from getting an opportunity on that original rush. Brazil working in the offensive zone. McColgan couldn't pick up that puck. Held up along the boards. Singleton comes out with it. Singleton looks up towards DeBow. Pass off his stick. Chopped at. Back to neutral ice. Got past Morris all the way into the Caribbean zone. Slade rings it around to the far side. Marchetti, the first one there for Brazil. Marchetti left it off, and it's taken back by the Caribbeans. Long lead pass to Bo, had it just out of his reach, but he'll win the race to negate the icing. Morris loved it down, and a backhander just goes wide. So if your team does get to the puck on an icing chance, then that negates the icing, so you don't have to deal with the icing call, and that is the way to keep icing from happening. Here's Morgan right in front, save by Koch, and the rebound ends up in the far corner. Now Brazil looking to work up. They have numbers. Becerra with Marchetti. Becerra a shot. That was kicked out by Kunlu, if not off the side of the net. Bounced up top. Razor doing all he can just to keep it in. Great play. Razor walks in, and his shot blocked up in the air. Puck's still bouncing around. Robertson settles it down. Robertson all the way around behind the net. Takes a look, put it out in front. That hit off of Suezo right in front. Back out comes Caribbean. Kramer couldn't dangle through. Tallway harassed by Socrates. Robertson able to take over as we approach 5 minutes left to go in period 2. Broken stick for one of the Caribbean players. Meanwhile, it's Morgan twisting and turning in the corner, able to cycle it down behind the net. Robertson, high flip out of the zone. Rosario tried to glove it down. Instead, it's Becerra with it. Rosario able to get back and defend on Becerra. Tornman around behind the cage, looking for a passing option. They'll cycle it right down the board. Socrates spins away from a defender. Socrates again puts on the spin move, and he fires it all the way down and around. Razor waiting for it on the other side. Razor tried to force it towards the slot. Rosario cut it off. A couple of Brazil players right on Rosario. Conlu couldn't cover up. Puck still alive. It's worked up to Nunez as Caribbean finally able to escape their own end.
Yeah, with that advantage, the Caribbean added.
Turnover here as Culpepper tried to put it out in front. Brazil able to regain possession. McColgan up with Tornman, gives it to him. There's Tornman a shot, and that one stopped by Conlu. Tornman and Rosario tie up. Rosario able to bounce it in Culpepper's direction. And a nice little stick move there from Risby. Here comes Caribbean on the right wing side. Pushed towards the net and covered up by Koch. 3.5 left to go in period 2. Brazil has gotten opportunities, but still unable to solve Lee Jaquan Kunlu.
Yeah, with the advantage that Caribbean has, this being more defensive with 3 players there around the goalie, making it very difficult for Brazil to find space to shoot. And then they get out on breakaways with 2 players. They are very quick, and that's pretty much killing Brazil team opportunities.
Puck loose right at the top of the crease, rescued by McColgan. He'll start a rush, has some help. McColgan skates in, throws on the brakes, drops it off. Miranda up top, Bencini lost it. McColgan regains possession. McColgan tried to make a move and couldn't get going towards the net. Loose puck, hustled after by Johnson. Long range try, covered up by Koch.
Another breakaway from Caribbean. Another offensive play from Brazil that was caught back by the Caribbean team. And then they just found this player alone, but Leo ran away and then he tried to shoot on the hands of the goalie and face off on the offensive side of the Caribbean.
And for any aspiring hockey players may want to write this one down. They say, a lot of coaches will say that the most important place on the ice to make a strong play and not turn the puck over is just inside the blue line and just outside the blue line on both sides. Your offensive blue line and your defensive blue line. That's where McColgan turned the puck over, where Caribbean got that last chance. Here comes Brazil 3-on-2. And that shot fanned on by Becerra, and it's Second opportunity held on to by Conlu. But again, very important right inside and just outside the blue line on your end and on the offensive end to make sure you either get the puck in deep or get the puck out and not turn the puck over there.
Yeah, that's correct. And now a very great offensive play from Brazil. He shot the goalie, was an easy caught, but that was a pretty dangerous play from Brazil.
Leads to an offensive zone face-off for Brazil. Pops to the slot. Becerra couldn't get it on net. Comes out to neutral ice. Lance Spencer working in, gets loose. Spencer stopped by Koch. And he reaches out the glove to cover up.
Lance perigoso do time do Caribe. Pegou sozinho, atravessou a linha, tentou fazer o drible do goleiro pelo lado esquerdo do goleiro, mas ele estava atento, usou os pads dele, fechou a barra e conseguiu fazer a defesa.
And again, Caribbean showing off that speed. Certainly their best asset. Off this face-off. Brazil tries to work it out, but off the stick of Singleton and up into the protective netting out of play. So we'll get another face-off right from that same spot.
Face-off acontece sempre que o goleiro segura o puck, ou então quando o puck sai do jogo, ou quando acontece alguma coisa que o jogo é paralisado, como um jogador que possa estar machucado.
Koch able to fend off a chance right in front. Lance Spencer on it. Move it all the way around. Trolway floats it over towards Rosario. Hopped over his stick. Rosario has to come back for it back in the neutral zone. Singleton couldn't pick up that puck. Trolway made a move at the line and scooped up by Robertson. Gonna get it up to Becerra though. Good back check by DeBow. Cut that one off. Singleton wins the race for icing. Moves all the way around. Singleton working on the near side half wall, but Brazil takes it away. Left wing, Robertson. And it off for Tornman. Tried to get it on net. That was blocked. Rosario had trouble getting it out. Tale takes over. Tornman in on the forecheck. Able to take the puck away. McColgan lost it as Caribbean came back. Flying up is Nichols. Nichols chips it by and Koch just pokes it over to the corner. Final minute of play here in the second. Nichols pass. Eluded King. King and Socrates tied up. King tried to force it back towards the point. It's chipped, not past Nichols though. And finally Brazil able to get it out of their own end. 35 seconds left to go in period two. LJ Spencer forced it towards the middle of the ice, cut off by Socrates. Off the near side boards, kept alive by Caribbean. King shot, punched out by Koch. Now Nichols had it roll off his stick as Brazil came in to defend. Final 10 seconds of this second period. Caribbean looking for one last opportunity. LJ Spencer couldn't put it out in front. Socrates trying to pin it up against the boards. They take a look at the clock. That will do it for 30 minutes of play. With the Caribbean leading Brazil 4-0, although this game has certainly been a lot closer than that 4-0 score may indicate.
Yeah, Brazil now needs to make a few shots correct, try to reduce the score, and maybe, why not, try to tie, and why not, try to win it. But first, need to score the first goal, and currently it's been very difficult to cross the Caribbean defense.
15 minutes left to go in this one. We'll step aside before period three from the Dream Nations Cup. Back here for period number 3 between Brazil and the Caribbean. It's a 4-0 lead for the Caribbeans, although the game has certainly felt a lot closer than that. Brazil has had a lot of opportunities, but Conlu has been the big difference down in goal for Team Caribbean. A couple of goals from Brandon Rosario and one each from Stephen Morgan and Charles DeBow. That's what's up on the board right now. Becerra gives it up to Robertson. Dropped it back off. Becerra makes a move. Fires it right in on Conlu. Sticks it over to the far corner. Becerra back out in front. That one came all the way through. Tornman. Back pass in front for Robertson. He had his stick lifted at the last moment. Slade working in, the defenseman right on net from the outside. Koch able to make the stop. Robertson on the left wing. Gets his way in. Robertson cuts to the middle. Pass off. Tornman the one-timer. That was going towards the blocker's side. And Conlu able to flash out the big blocker. Here comes Singleton the other way, but he lost the handle.
One of the best plays of Brazil team this game. The pass and Tornman shot it very strong on the right side of the goalie, but it was used his blocker and denied it.
And again, we talked about it with another play for Brazil in that second period. You try and catch the goalie moving to his left, shoot back to his right. And try and catch the goalie again moving the wrong direction. Tolle on his backhand. Sent it all the way up top to the point. DeBow lets it go, and Koch got a piece of it with the goal stick. Tolle again, down low, Singleton takes a look, he scores! Dwight Singleton able to pick up his head, pick his spot, and he makes it 5 for Team Caribbean.
A defesa do Brasil estava agora um pouco desorganizada. O jogador número 40, o Singleton número 2, recebeu o puck sozinho. Quando o jogador Sócrates tentou chegar, já era tarde e o gol foi assinalado. Mais um para o time do Caribe, usando força e velocidade para vencer o time do Brasil. Agora 5-0. Volta com você, Will.
A 17-year-old Singleton had a goal and an assist yesterday. Now another goal here. Played this season with the Jersey Shore Whalers 18U AAA. Caribbean looking for more as Nichols circles the zone. Comes up high. Risby couldn't handle it clean. He's tied up. Risby able to keep it in though. Back to it. Tried to send it across. That was blocked away by Miranda. Miranda makes a move. Makes a pass up. Caribbean trying to bounce it out of their end, can't do it. Rosario forced to retreat below his own goal line, looks for a long lead pass, and he has Nichols. Nichols cuts to the forehand. Trying to make a pass back out in front. King lets it go off the side of the cage. Nichols back out in front. And that escaped its intended target, Daryl Tekor. Toss pass intercepted, 2-on-1 for Brazil. Tornman shot off the glove of Conlu. But Colgan was surrounded. Rosario able to take control. Rosario sends it over to the near side. Battled for on the half wall. Forced down behind the net. Rosario having some trouble with the Brazil forecheck. Moved out in front. Here's Robertson. A shot couldn't find the target. Maybe trying to go to the top corner and rose it over the cage. Long range try. Stopped by Koch. It's off the stick of Jeremy Silverman. Back in comes Robertson. Working on Morris. Robertson swept it across. Now Roney from long range. Didn't get it all the way through. Robertson on it again. Robertson to the net. Now one kicked out, sent back out in front. Tornman didn't get a good touch on it. Robertson trying to flip it to an area. Taken away by Culpepper. Brazil continues to buzz around the Caribbean net, but still unable to get rewarded as Robertson entered the offensive zone with the puck before Bezerra had exited. So that is an offside against Brazil.
Impedimento do time brasileiro, o jogador número 23, o 20, Robertson, entrou na área de ataque do Brasil, indicado pela linha azul, e o jogador número 16, Bezerra, ainda estava na linha de ataque, então ficou impedimento e recomeçou o jogo aqui na linha, no pontinho vermelho aqui, antes da linha de entrada da zona de ataque do time do Brasil.
So we are on a running clock right now in the third with a 5-goal Caribbean lead, as is the rule here in round robin play of the Dream Nations. As Morris circles back, makes a play up. That'll pour right along the red line here. Now Brazil able to take it out. McColgan trying to work around Morris. He's tripped up, and Morris heading to the penalty box. Oh, Brazil will go to the power play for the second time in this game, trying to get on the scoreboard.
Segundo pênalti do time do Caribe, agora o Brasil vai ter um power play, tem um jogador a mais pelos próximos 2 minutos, e tentar diminuir a diferença de 5-0 do time do Caribe.
Looks like they'll stop the clock just for the penalty time. 9.5 left to go in this one. Robertson wins the face-off back. Brazil sets up. Banchini let it go, and that one goes wide. May have been deflected on the way through. Robertson now in the corner. Out to Tornman, and Conlu able to hold off the post. Socrates works his way up high. That one deflected, and Conlu went tumbling. Whistles blow, and a Brazilian player was in the crease, interfered with Conlu enough to draw the whistle, and that means a face-off coming outside of the Caribbean zone.
Agora foi uma interferência no goleiro, então o brasileiro estava dentro da área do goleiro, interferiu com ele significativamente, então o juiz parou o lance e recomeça aqui na zona de neutra zona. Zona neutra.
Nichols working in short-handed, lost an edge, and Tornman able to take the puck. Tornman working into the offensive zone, harassed by Nichols, and he dropped it off. Socrates works all the way around the net, comes out in front, and Conlu able to make the save and hang on, and now Socrates getting into it with Nichols. Socrates knocks Nichols down to the ice, and they wrestle. Referee trying to separate those two. Maybe some frustration here from Socrates and the Brazilian side.
Discussão aqui mais acalorada. O jogador jogador do Caribe, número 19, e o 44, Sócrates, se estranharam aqui e os dois estão indo repensar um pouco ali na zona do pecado.
We'll stop the clock again just to figure all this out. There's 1 second left on the Brazil power play. I don't believe these two penalties will affect on-ice manpower, but we will find out in a moment. Conversations going on between referees and the Brazil bench right now. They do put Socrates' penalty up on the board, so that may mean that Caribbean's heading to the power play here, and indeed that looks like the case. As soon as stepping out of the box will be Morris. As soon as he steps out, then it will be Caribbean power play. Again, that will be in 1 second after they drop the puck.
Dois jogadores do Brasil foram colocados no penalty box e tem 2 do Caribe também. Um do Caribe vai sair agora no próximo 1 segundo, falta 1 segundo para o penalty acabar. E aí vai ser power play para o time do Caribe agora.
So 4-on-4 for 1 second before that Caribbean power play. Again, it is typically running time with a 5-goal lead for one side in the third period, but with so much to figure out, don't want to lose too much playing time, want to let the players play. So they did stop the clock during that stoppage. As Brazil clears it all the way down just as soon as that Caribbean power play begins. A chance to work on the penalty kill for Team Brazil. Caribbean power play is 1 for 2 so far. Off the skate of King and sent down that time by Becerra. Thibault hangs out behind his own net, draws Singleton to him. Singleton picks up the puck, trying to get past Tornman, and the referee does so successfully. There's Singleton, couldn't dangle through. Charlie follows him up. He's taken hard into the boards. Charlie knocked off the puck, and Tornman able to clear. 6.5 left to go in this one. And 59 seconds left in the power play for Caribbean. Lance Spencer, left wing side, he's tripped up. Play continues, Rosario got to Thibault, turnaround try, and Koch bought it off. Singleton, wraparound chance, Koch able to cover up and hang on for a whistle on a face-off. Meanwhile, there's a battle ensuing in front. I believe that was Cavalcante for Brazil.
O jogador do Caribe, número 43, usou muita força dele ali, deu um empurrão, o Léo caiu no chão, mas o Caribe não conseguiu fazer o gol, o goleiro segurou e continua o jogo 5-0 para o Caribe.
I believe he was tied up with Lance Spencer in front of the net before that face-off. Not sure exactly what happened here off this draw, but they will move the face-off over to the near side dot. 5:20 and ticking left to go in this third period. Spencer takes it off the face-off, put it out in front, loose puck, they score. Another one for Team Caribbean, their 6th. Just about 5 minutes left to go in this one.
6º gol do time Caribe, um bom chute, o goleiro deu rebote na primeira, o jogador não conseguiu, o Caribe tentou, não conseguiu chutar, o rebote continuou, e o jogador mais para trás, o número 7, definiu e fez o 6º gol do time do Caribe. Volta com você, Will.
That is the 2nd of the game for Stephen Morgan. Team Caribbean showing its power in these first 2 round-robin games. 7-0 win over Mexico yesterday, and now up 6-0 against Brazil in the final few minutes of the third.
Impressive defense from the Caribbean. 2 games, 0 goals allowed so far.
So play continues. Culpepper missed that one wide on the short side. Andrew Sala had it kicked along, and now it's Melnick. His head up, trying to send it all the way out. McColgan able to chip it by, but good job by Risby, turn around and knock it away. McColgan was trying to get his way towards the net. Risby now tries to take a look off ice. Long bouncing pass. Didn't get all the way to its intended target. That was Silverman. Brazil back in. Long range try. Covered up by Kunlu.
Bom chute do McLogan. Chutou do lado esquerdo do goleiro, tentando pegar desprevenido, mas o goleiro estava atento, pegou lá, fez um bloco. Uma observação: o jogo normalmente o cronômetro para quando o jogo para, mas quando a diferença de gols é grande, eles costumam deixar o tempo correr. Então isso que está acontecendo hoje, o tempo está correndo e faltam agora 2:45 para o jogo terminar. 6-0 para o time do Caribe.
Shot towards the net was blocked and it's floated out of the zone. Cavalcanti up the boards, and Chini had it taken away. Nunez lost the handle. Now Brazil takes over in their own end. It's Tornman. Tornman able to toss it up, glove down by Morris. And Chini moved it up, saw it come right back to him. And Bianchini will send it all the way in. Slade reverses around for Morris. 2 minutes left to go in this one. Cavalcanti trying to chip it past Morgan. Morgan able to get it out by himself, and Tornman came over to take the puck off his stick. Kramer couldn't make a move. And now Slade on it, on his backhand. Morris takes over with his head up ice. Got it to LJ Spencer fresh off the bench, but he couldn't bring it in cleanly. Caribbean able to get it out now. Here comes Kramer with plenty of room on the left wing side. Kramer lost it as the Brazilians collapsed in on him. Kramer out in front, and Spencer couldn't get a good chance on that one. He was all alone next to the crease. Shakur sweeps it around. Becerra waiting for it on the wall. Sent it down low. Marchetti couldn't get a piece of it. Final minute of play in this round-robin game. That one missed the net wide. Cavalcanti down and around. Morris taken in by Robertson. And now King works his way up with 35. Nice move. Here comes King. A shot knocked down by Koch, and the rebound cleared away before LJ Spencer could get to it. And a great back check by Isaac Becerra to make sure that puck got poked away, with LJ Spencer crashing down on the crease.
Jogada ótima do time do Caribe. O jogador de número, enfim, do Caribe passou ia pela esquerda, driblou pela direita o Léo e chutou. O goleiro conseguiu defender e o número 16, Bezerra, cortou para o fim do jogo.
So that will do it for this one. Another shutout for Lee Jo-Kwan Conlu, his second of this tournament today. 23 saves. The Caribbean side gets 2 goals apiece from Stephen Morgan, Brandon Rosario, a couple of assists from Darius Nichols, and they move to 2-0 in round-robin play in Men's Division 2. So Team Caribbean at the top of the Men's Division 2 side. They will take on Pakistan tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, Brazil will face off against Mexico now at 1-1. That will be 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time, and that will be the final game of round-robin play. Again, that is tomorrow here from the rink at American Dream. But Team Caribbean looking strong and looking like the favorite right now in the Men's Division 2 side, but certainly a strong effort from Brazil, and the score not really indicative of how even this game was played.
O Brasil ainda tem uma chance de se classificar com essa derrota hoje, já que venceu o jogo de ontem contra o Paquistão e joga amanhã contra o México, que perdeu os 2 jogos. O Brasil tem que vencer e torcer provavelmente por uma derrota do time do Paquistão para o time do Caribe para se classificar para a final.
So Brandon Rosario, with his 2 goals, named the player of the game for Team Caribbean. That's going to do it for this one. Next up, turn things over to the women's division. Team Puerto Rico and Team Netherlands. That will be next on Dream Nations Cup /live. Like us, subscribe to us, and get every single game or the entire rest of this tournament. Thank you to Claudio for joining me again up here in the booth, providing some Portuguese. I'm Will Wiggleman, and we will see you next time here from the Dream Nations Cup.